We have coming to the stage an amazing woman who is a survivor, a thriver, a woman of faith, a servant-hearted entrepreneur. We're using that word all weekend. I love it. And she has a foundation that I know is going to resonate with many of you, and she's going to share a little bit about her story very briefly. Ladies and gentlemen, stand to your feet and welcome Tamara.
Have a little bit of participation, so I'm going to ask, have you or anyone you know ever heard these 3 words? You have cancer. If so, stand.
Almost.
Directly or indirectly?
So you or anyone you know?
Oh, yeah. And people, yes.
All right, look around. Thank you for standing with me. All right, I have heard those words as a granddaughter, as a daughter, as a sister, as a mother, and for myself. For many, you can feel isolated, depressed, nearly hopeless. That's me. Right after my first chemotherapy, decided to shave off my hair, what was left of it, instead of it just falling out. That's my mother, and that's me there. That's Christmas, December 2014. That's my mother, only a few months later. And I want to tell you about her. She, we did not know, had cancer. I had started chemotherapy. I had been in chemotherapy for nearly a year. I had to have it for a full year. My mother had pneumonia. We lived in the same house 4 generations. I could not see her. They put me in my own room. I had to have a mask and gloves even to go out to the car to go get chemotherapy again. My mother was put in the hospital. She coded. Now, to understand her, 34 years before, she had been in a car accident, and 6 of her vertebrae had been shattered. And her spine was actually fused from the very top of her to the very bottom. She had had 27 major surgeries, Harrington rods, cages, the whole deal. She looked relatively healthy in the Christmas picture. And little did we know at the time that she was starting pneumonia. She needed a surgery. They gave her the surgery. She ended up having to have a catheter. That catheter gave her superbugs. Anybody that has superbugs in the urinary tract, it does something to your brain. So she ends up in the hospital. That picture was taken by my neighbor because I couldn't go see her. I was in active chemo. I was going through active chemo. She had pneumonia. Little did we know at the time she had bone marrow cancer. She was not allowed to come back home. I actually met a buddy in the chemotherapy room. Thus, my nonprofit is called Chemo Buddies for Life. We had a blast. I mean, the 2 of us, it was a party nearly to go to the chemotherapy room. She would bring pink earplugs for everybody because she thought we were just disturbing everybody while they were having their chemotherapy. When I was going through chemotherapy with a buddy, my mother was not allowed to come back home. She was put into rest homes and such, and they were not very nice to her. She became a screamer. She was one that was, help me, in one of those homes. You walk in and they're the ones. She would have been mortified to know that she was doing that. So they started calling me, and I'm going through active chemotherapy. What am I supposed to do about it? They wanted me to come and sit with her. How am I supposed to take care of her? I'll tell you, it was the most frustrating thing that you can go through. I could not even really talk to them on the phone because my chemotherapy gave me chemosores on my vocal cords. And so I would lose my voice. And I'm trying to talk to these people on the phone. And to try to call my mother couldn't happen because of the fact that she could not even get a phone in her room because she couldn't move. She did not understand why she was in so much pain, and they thought she was making it up. What ended up happening is at the very end of her life, I was able to bring her home 10 days before she passed for hospice, but I had to agree to not touch her because she still had active superbugs. So, right before my mother passed away, she asked why I didn't want to touch her. What are you supposed to say? Because you'll make me sick. I could die too. It was a tough situation. So, I vowed that no one would ever face cancer alone. Because I was able to go through it with a buddy. We had fun. We did pink hair. We had big parties. We were called Double Trouble or the Party Bus. But my mom was alone, and I couldn't even hold her hand when she died. So you see, I get up every single morning knowing that I don't want anybody facing cancer alone. Why do I have 365 days of awesome? Celebrate success through service. And I highlight a service concept or a service hero every day. It's because my chemo buddies started believing in the bad news that's out there, and they were ready to start giving up. And I'm like, no way, that's not happening on my watch. You're not going to do this alone, and you're not going to give up. I give them hope. Because I wash everything through the nonprofit, through humor, hope, and heart. How can I give them hope to want to live? And it was to show them that there are a lot of good people doing a lot of good stuff. And that's why I do it every day. And you know what? I have such a loyal group of buddies that's why I wanted to have this, because I actually want you to meet a couple of them. How do I play this?
Hi, my name's Lisa Brown, and I'm from the Midwest, and I have a glioblastoma brain tumor. Since that day, my life has enormously changed, and I don't know what my future will be, but I do take one day at a time, and I don't take life for granted anymore. One evening, I was on the computer doing some just searching, and I came across a site called Chemo Buddies for Life. I was curious to know what it meant, and I went on there to check it out, and somebody was messaging me, and it was Tamara Hunter, and she was inquiring about me and what my situation was, and pretty much I just told her that I had a brain tumor and things didn't look so good, and that I was doing treatment, and it was just a sad time for me. And we got to talking, and she's like, I'm going to be your buddy. And I'm like, how awesome is that? Somebody that really doesn't know me. We don't even live in the same area of the world. She lives, I live in the Midwest. She lives on the West Coast, but it's worked. Usually when I'm awake, she's awake. It's just amazing how it has worked out, and she's been a really good buddy for me. Her Chemo Buddies for Life is an organization that I do believe is necessary. I believe in the dream that she has for it. I believe in the awards that she gives daily to a deserving service person. I believe in where she wants to take it. I believe that everybody should understand and want to believe in her organization, that we all need a buddy, and people that have cancer need a buddy more than ever. Unless you've been there and been through it, you don't possibly could understand what a person goes through. And for that and this organization, I'm very, very happy. I believe in her direction and where she's going, and I believe in her cause. So Thank you, Tamara Hunter, for coming into my life, for being my buddy, and for believing in me and believing that you wanted to be my buddy, and for supporting me and not knowing my outcome, and for just being there for me. I thank you.
Thank you. I want you to meet another one.
Hi, I'm Brett, and when I was 14 years old, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Over the past year, I've had the privilege of working with Tamara and volunteering to help put subtitles on videos or helping to organize the online store. One thing that I think is so great about Chemo Buddies is the community, and through that community, you truly get a lot of support. One thing that I wish I would have had when I was going through chemo is an online support system. Reason being is when you're sick, sometimes you don't feel like leaving your bed. You can't leave the hospital, so how are you going to go to a support group? And that's why this is so great. It's an online support group. And honestly, the support in this community, I haven't seen anything like it before. When I was going through chemo, I felt as if nobody understood what I was going through. Reason being is that I felt like, you say you understand, but you don't feel sick like me. Well, I'm starting to realize now as I'm older, they understood, but they understood through a different viewpoint. They understood as the family member or the friend. And that's what's so great about this, is that everybody can feel like somebody can relate to them, because this isn't just for the person going through the cancer treatments. It's for their family, their friends. It's for those who are sick. It's for everybody. It's very inclusive, and it's honestly like no other community out there. So on that note, I actually really want to say thank you to Tamara, but that's why I think Chemo Buddies is so great.
That's Brett. Brett had, like you could maybe hear, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma when he was 14. The big thing about Brett is that he right now is having to go through testing again. And yet, are you aware that if you have childhood cancer, you're of course with a pediatric oncologist. It's not always easy for these kids that go through. He lived at the Children's Hospital. It's not always easy for them to find an adult oncologist and be able to transition, and it hasn't worked yet for him. So we're still trying to get him to be seen so that he can be tested, and so that we know that things are going forward. Stories that people don't always understand are going on. One more, you will not see her, but she is my senior volunteer and has been with us almost since the very beginning. But I think it's very important that you hear her words, and then I want to tell her story.
I am the Senior Ambassador for Chemo Buddies for Life. What it means to me to be the Senior Ambassador is an awesome feeling. I live to be a chemo buddy for everybody, including my own buddy. It is an honor to be the ambassador for the chemos. I have been with Tamara for a year now, and it's awesome to get to know each and every one of you that have sent me a friend request to be a service hero. I have met so many awesome people. They are my friends, and it is an honor for them to accept me as one of them. I thank you all. I love you all so very much, for you are dear to my heart. And I enjoy each and every one of you that have reached out to
me. Sharon won't be seen. Sharon is a stage 4. And only 2 weeks ago, her doctor came into the visit room and said, "Why are you still here? Why are you still alive?" And not to be sarcastic, truly wanting to understand, because the odds were slim in her case. Not at all. She's probably watching right now. That's why I stream, because my buddies go with me everywhere. I go, they go. I will probably never get to put my eyes on Sharon, though I talk to her all the time. And she talks to everybody. Everybody knows Sharon, right? She makes herself, she is like the glue to the Chemo Buddies for Life. And the reason she told her doctor that she was alive still is because she has a reason to live. She is a Chemo Buddy for Life Senior Ambassador, and she is a proud service hero, and that she is needed. Huge. She is. She keeps me straight. So, why am I keeping you guys here right now? It's because I am asking for you all to be the service heroes inside of you to help me help them. We are a movement, truly, that will be worldwide. When you hear those words, hopefully we won't always have to hear them, but if anybody hears those words, you have cancer, the next question should be to them is, do you have your buddy? We need to get you a buddy. Doctors and nurses said you need to do this, and it was like, okay, I guess we're doing something, and didn't know what it was, and then we did a lot of research and found that this was needed, that we can actually affect the lives and the length and the quality of these buddies. And we can be there for those people that love and support them, including the medical community. And our stand is this, and please understand it. The name is Chemo Buddies for Life. It's only because that's where I met my original buddy. She and I did all of our treatments, everything together for 3 years. And our doctors and nurses kept saying they wanted to bottle us. They saw the difference of two people that had a buddy and how it raised the frequency in the whole location, and that if we could do it, then others could. And then it's even in journals now. The medical community is figuring it out, that the heart and the mind actually have something to do with the body. And they have had a study in 2017 in England that if you are isolated going through chemotherapy, you will not live as long. So we don't want them to be isolated. And I don't care what type of treatment someone wants to go through, be it traditional, alternative, adjunctive. Doesn't matter, just don't do it alone. That's our stand. We believe in buddies. And I just wanted to make sure that, thank you for staying. Thank you for hearing the story. And I wanted to make sure to take care of my buddies and say that I am dedicated to make this happen, and I hope you are too. Thank you.